back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Leading the Charge, I guess. It's welcome back to me. I haven't been here for a little while, so I'm kind of like forgetting what I'm supposed to be saying and doing right now.
I also feel like we haven't done a show together in maybe
It's been
months.
a minute. It's been a while.
Long time.
Shout out to Dom for holding down the fort the last couple weeks while I was trying to relax and rest a little bit.
Yeah.
Did a great job.
Thanks, buddy. We had a lot of great guests. Ryan Talbot was on there. Our friend Elena Getzenberg also as well. You know, just a lot of good times because 30 minutes of me talking is awful television.
No, it's great television. We're starting tonight's show. The inspiration for this segment was brought to you by a T-shirt that was on display at a local grocery store. Okay. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name of the local grocery store, but you know how sometimes the grocery stores just sell random merchandise from the sports teams?
Yes.
It was an Alex Tuch T-shirt, and it was on sale. So I walked by it, and I was like, does this grocery store know something that I don't know? Are they moving on from Alex Tuch? So it got me thinking, like, what are the Sabres going to do with Alex Tuch? This is the big conversation we are having.
Yeah.
With the NHL draft a couple weeks away, with free agency a couple days after that. They got some big decisions to make, but none bigger than Alex Tuch.
Not to put you on the spot, Matt, but I feel like when was the last time we've had a Sabres offseason where a player of this caliber, this big name was a UFA, but we had to talk about
So
this.
The last time, and it's not a great comparison because Alex Tuch is a much better all-around player, but it was a Jeff Skinner conversation back in 2019. Okay. Jeff Skinner was coming off of this ridiculously impressive offensive production season, and the Sabres had to decide, are they going to keep Jeff Skinner or are they going to let him walk? They signed him to a massive contract, and the reason this is a really interesting conversation is because this year, after buying him out, he is going to count for $6.5 million on their salary cap. So that makes it a little bit tricky for them to figure out. So that's the last time they had to do that. That was in 2019, though. That was already 7 years ago.
A lot has happened. So here we are, 2026. Yeah. We fast forward. Now the conversation is Alex Tuch. Listen, we're going to get into maybe what my thoughts, what Matt's thoughts are about this whole situation. Yeah. Should the Sabres re-sign him? Should they let him walk? What's the best for Alex Tuch? Well, I'll tell you what. A couple weeks ago, end of the season, locker room cleanouts. He's at the press conference table with us. The thing he reiterated the most was that, yes, I want to be a Buffalo Sabre, but at the end of the day, my family is what is most important. He is a guy who has earned in his NHL career to have an opportunity to make a lot of money. Do the Sabres give him that? I don't know. But Alex Tuch says his family is at the forefront, and Jarmo Kekalainen says, hey, we got to do what's best for the team ultimately.
Like I said, I don't know how the talks are going to proceed. I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know the future, but my main priority is my family.
Just like I've told him and I tell everybody in the same situation, we make our decisions based on how can we make our team better. And you know, we have to come to an agreement that this is the type of contract that we can still make our team better, and hopefully we can do that.
Yeah, and like Alex Tuch is a good player, and he will be an instrumental piece to this Buffalo Sabres team moving forward. But the numbers that are being thrown up there, anywhere from, you know, you're hearing 11 to 11.5, as low as 10. But I just don't think the Sabres are in a market for that, man. I feel like they're putting themselves in a really tough position because you have to think about all the future pieces. You have guys like Zach Benson, you have a defensive core, and a guy like Bo Byram that you want to set up and lock up as well. Jarmo Kekalainen, when he first got here, says, I believe in strong defensive cores. They have about $11 million in cap. I'm looking at puckpedia.com. That's what an Alex Tuch contract is right now, essentially. And I just don't know if the Sabres push kind of the go button when it comes to that.
I think they're a better team with Alex Tuch on the team, at least in the short term, for sure. I also want to make it clear, Alex Tuch isn't that old. The way I think people have been talking about Alex Tuch is like his play is about to completely fall off a cliff. I do not believe that to be true.
He's 30.
I think it's a recency bias because in the second round of the playoffs, he wasn't very good. In the first round of the playoffs, he was very good against Boston. He was one of their best players. He's 30 years old. The benefit that the Sabres have, one of the advantages that they have is that right now, they could sign him to an 8-year contract. No other team can. They can only sign him to a 7-year contract. So if the Sabres want to try and lower that annual cost, they probably have to give him an 8-year deal. Now, if you're somebody who's sitting at home watching this, you're watching on your phone, wherever you're watching, and you're yelling at it, give him a 5-year contract. It ain't going to work that way because somebody's going to give him a 7-year contract 100%. No matter what. And some other team out there is going to be able to give him much more money than the Buffalo Sabres are probably willing to give him. So the number that I have kept going back to with Alex Tuch is $9 million. You know what they should do? An 8-year deal, $9 million a year. What number does Alex Tuch wear? 89, 8x9. People do that all the time. Sidney Crosby forever took $8.7 million a year because that was just the thing that he did. I think that is what the Sabres should be trying to get with Alex Tuch. $2 million less than he probably could get on the open market per year, which is a lot. The taxes conversation comes into this as well.
Of course.
But here's the other thing. The cost of living in Buffalo is substantially more affordable, relatively speaking, than it is in some of these other places.
Right.
Like
Absolutely.
some of the other teams that are going to be rumored to have interest in Alex Tuch are like Vancouver, right?
That's pricey.
In Chicago.
Right.
In Boston. Those places are really, really expensive to buy these big, beautiful homes and the other things that professional athletes do. $9 million is my number. If it goes north of $9 million, I think you say thanks, but no thanks, and then you shift your focus elsewhere.
Yeah, I think the Sabres stomach that. I think Alex Tuch has to stomach that too. What did you feel like when we were talking to Alex Tuch at the end of the season? Like the sincerity in his voice about his desire to come back to Buffalo.
Yeah.
I always felt that it really was. I mean, this is a guy who grew up watching this team just down the road in Syracuse. Shout out to the 315. But this is a guy who idolized this team, idolized Lindy Ruff. He got him back here, and now he's a part of the team that helped snap that 15-year playoff drought. I do think there is sincerity in Alex Tuch's desire to be back here in Buffalo, but the figure has to make sense. And you almost tripped me up with the math because you're like 8 and 9. I was like, oh, you're doing multiplication.
No.
72. I was like, that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't do the math. Ain't mathing.
Yeah, that's Tage Thompson. But you go anything, I think, north of that. I think 9.5. I could even see a world where I could stomach that a little bit too. But I'm also so just enamored by the future of the Buffalo Sabres. Like watching a guy like Konsta Helenius turn it up and then Zach Benson have a freak of a playoffs, right? If you can never get it, but I think of like, man, if it got some sort of a deal where it's at 9 or something that replicates not the dollar figures, but the deal portion of like what Josh Stone's contract looks like, man, they could be sitting pretty. But ultimately, though, like Alex Tuch deserves a bag, and he's going to probably get one if he does not sign with the Buffalo Sabres.
The thing I keep going back to is if they were going to re-sign him, it's probably done at this point. I don't think they would even be flirting with free agency. Now, I do think that when you get to this point, obviously one side, maybe both sides, start to get a little bit desperate if they want to make something happen, and maybe that's when you can ultimately get to a deal. This could have been done months ago. This could have been done last summer. This could have been something that Kevin Adams tried to do and lock up before ultimately he ended up losing his job. I think the Sabres want to keep Alex Tuch. But I think the Sabres want to keep Alex Tuch at a certain number, and Alex Tuch would get way more than that on the open market. So that's what he is, I'm sure, trying to figure out. It feels like we are trending. This is, once again, me speculating, educated guess, some of the reporting that's been out there. It feels like we're I don't want to call it a breakup because that's not the perfect way of explaining it. It feels like we're trending towards Alex Tuch hitting the market on July 1st, and you just kind of have to live with that. For the Sabres, he was an own rental. You were getting ready to try and end this playoff drought. He was a key contributor. He is a fan favorite. They needed to keep him, and if you lose him for nothing, then that's just how it happens. That's just the way it works, and sometimes that is the price of business. So if they do lose Alex Tuch, the other thing is they need to replace him. They cannot just say, okay, we're going to give a new contract to Zach Benson. We're going to try and keep Bo Byram. They need to go out and find another productive winger somehow. I just think right now, if you were saying, okay, Matt, what do you think is going to happen? I think Alex Tuch is going to be playing hockey next year somewhere else. Yeah,
and I also go back to that point you just brought up. The Sabres embedded video that they dropped a couple months ago, I think right after the deadline, where Yarmo hangs up the call, like, let's revisit this in the offseason. I always go back to that video because I wonder what and who is he talking about there, because it makes me feel like, okay, Kevin Adams in the past, I don't think a lot of Sabre fans have trust that Kevin Adams is going to let Alex Tuch walk in free agency and then go find something of talent level like to kind of just, fill in the gap and replace whatever you're losing talent-wise with Alex Tuch. But I think Yarmo is that guy. But I also know Yarmo Kekalainen, and to my point I said earlier, he's a defensive-minded guy. Like, he wants to probably lock up Bo Byram, which is really strong. Bo Byram, Rasmus Dahlin, Matthias Samuelsson, like, you just get guys back there. So I don't know if it's like a Robert Thomas. Do we open up that one again?
No.
Is it, do you ever move something in the
I sneakily think they're
defense?
trading Bo Byram. Not
Really?
sneakily, yeah, I do. I really do.
See, I think they want to.
I think they want to. I don't think he wants to sign here. I think there's a reason that they were trying to trade for Colton Parayko last year at the deadline, because I think they knew that Bo Byram either wants to go be a number 1 or number 2 defenseman somewhere else, or they just don't think that they can afford him. I think there's a very real chance that Alex Tuch and Bo Byram are off the Sabres next year. But I also think if we're talking about that, they have gone and added talent elsewhere. This is not going to be strip it down to the studs and let the young kids, that's important. But look what they just did. Yeah. This is not a that. This is a...
You have a window. There's a window now.
Go attack it.
Like, how often do we talk about windows when Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, right? The Buffalo Sabres have a window. Go get it. Because guess what? That window can shut real fast.
But that's the counter argument to the Alex Tuch conversation of who cares if you overpay this guy for a couple years if you have won. Nobody will care. If the Buffalo Sabres win a Stanley Cup and they are paying Alex Tuch a few million more dollars than they should be 3 or 4 years from now, nobody will care if you have won. So if you truly are win now, maybe that means you keep your good players and you just live with the consequences down the road. Also, the salary cap is skyrocketing. Look at how many millions of people are watching the NHL every single night, by the way, on ABC. They're watching these games. The salary cap is rising. They will have the money to make something happen, but, This is really interesting. We've talked about this for 11 minutes, and we could continue to go for the entire show. We're not going to do that. But listen, the Alex Tuch stuff is playing out, and it's a really fun conversation to have.
Very much.
So we'll see. We're going to get some clarity in these next couple weeks here because things start to move with the NHL draft, and that is less than 3 weeks away. So we'll get some clarity on that. You know what's sooner than that? The Buffalo Bills start to mandatory minicamp. That is tomorrow. We're going to talk about some storylines with the Bills on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. Leading the charge. We'll be right back. Now is the time I'm supposed to say welcome back. Not at the beginning of the show when everybody is seeing us for the first time.
You just say welcome.
Welcome back, everyone. Matt Bove, Dom Tibbetts. We are getting ready to head out to Bills mandatory minicamp. That begins tomorrow, but before the Bills were hitting the football fields, they were hitting the baseball diamond yesterday in Rochester at Frontier Fields for the Greg Rousseau charity softball game. For years, it was Micah Hyde hosting it. Greg Rousseau took over the responsibilities. It was a really cool event yesterday. It raised a ton of money for different charities and organizations, mainly Greg Rousseau's foundation, and there was some good baseball and entertainment too.
It's another day off and we're all together. That's what it means, right? When you spend a good time, you're spending quality time with the boys, and then once you get on the field, you trust that individual because you trust them off the field and are able to translate on the field.
And it's just, you see everybody come together. It's just what our team is and who everybody is. So it's just cool to get all the guys out here. Everybody's having a good time, and we'll be able to talk some trash for next year, saying offense won it all.
Dalton Kincaid there won the home run derby with his new muscles that he was showing off, hitting dingers. Dalton Kincaid's a fun name to watch as we head into mandatory minicamp.
Yeah.
They need a lot from him this year.
Absolutely.
I feel like he's very high on the list of important Buffalo Bills.
100%.
Is there a big mandatory minicamp storyline you're kind of circling as we get ready to head out to the stadium tomorrow?
It's so early. We've had this conversation, I feel like, every year, and I think you'd agree with me here too, Matt. It's just there's no pads on yet. So when training camp rolls around, you get a couple practices in, and then the pads start coming on, then the physicality starts, and then the fights a little bit, they break out, the chippiness, but also you really start to see, some guys just open up their playbook. The talent spear really comes out. But in terms of just what we're realistically going to see, I want to just see more of the first wide receivers, so your first string guys, the DJ Morris, the Khalil Shakirs, and then just what Max Harrison, Christian Benford, seeing IGB into rotation on there as well too. A little bit more from maybe CJ Gardner-Johnson in the safety room. I'm very curious to see how these offensive and defensive kind of matchups go, because last week it was really interesting. I thought Josh Allen and CJ Gardner-Johnson kind of going at each other, chirping before 7-on-7
That's
started.
amazing.
Yeah, it was really entertaining. And guess what? Josh Allen beat IGB hard on a route. IGB slipped up and failed. 2 reps later, IGB found a pick 6 on Josh Allen.
Oh, no kidding.
It's a thing that is more so what I'm kind of geared and looking towards, because the offensive line I feel like is so nitty gritty right now that I'm not gonna get too focused without seeing them in pads.
Here's my thing. This, to me, is all about Jim Leonard. The biggest change the Buffalo Bills are going to have this upcoming season really isn't just about the roster. It's about the change in philosophy and the change in coaching staff on the defensive side of the ball. For all of these years, basically my entire time covering the Buffalo Bills, it has been Sean McDermott calling the shots, not only as just the head coach, but also defensively. New defensive coordinator comes in. How is this all going to piece itself together? Because I really don't know. There's guys who we ask them, what position are you? That's a question I've never even thought about asking a player.
Right, but now you know
what position they are, and they go, I'm a defensive lineman. What does a defensive lineman do? Are you there to stop the run? Are you there to rush the passer? How exactly are you going to be used? We don't know yet, and I think that's one of the things that makes this really, really fun and interesting. This is a little different tidbit for you, but hey, it's interesting. For years, Sean McDermott practiced at the same time every single year. It was always at 12:30. We're there later tomorrow because Joe Brady has a different plan. Joe Brady wants to stack the day differently. The team is going to practice later. It's going to be the last thing that they need to do. All of these little different intricacies that we have learned over the years under Sean McDermott are now changing because they have a new head coach. So yes, Joe Brady is the main head honcho. But I am most interested to see how the Jim Leonhard defense looks when we can finally see all the starters on the field, even without pads on. Because for these last couple weeks, it's been, there's no Ed Oliver today. There's no Terrell Bernard. There's no C.J. Gardner-Johnson. There's no Cole Bishop. We have to see all the guys tomorrow because it's mandatory. And if they're healthy, they're going to be out on the practice field. I just want to see how they line up and what it looks like. I think that might give us some clues.
And then I'm also curious, too, because a little quick snippet here, Jim Leonhard's defense will also give us a little bit of a hindsight into who do they bring on, maybe some free agents, and some guys they might want to sign to help bolster the defense a little bit. Like, what do the linebacker room look like here? Do they bring on somebody? Do they bring back another cornerback? Maybe some guy who used to play in Buffalo a lot. I don't know. But we don't know that because we have to see how Jim Leonhard's defense kind of unfolds here.
Yeah, mandatory minicamp begins tomorrow. It'll be 3 days long. We will be there every step of the way, and we'll be probably talking about this next week on Monday. We'll also maybe be talking about some state champion softball and baseball teams. More on that coming up on the other side of the break. Welcome back, everyone. Matt Beauvais, Dom Tibbetts. A bunch of teams in Western New York getting ready for state finals this weekend in Binghamton, baseball and softball. I'll start on the baseball side of things. Dom said shout out 315. You're from 315 Syracuse?
315 Syracuse.
305, excuse me.
315. 305 is Miami. That's Pitbull.
Oh, that's Pitbull. Okay. Niagara Falls. I don't know what the zip code Niagara Falls is, but I am from Wheatfield, so not that far away. Listen, when I was growing up, Niagara Falls was not like a powerhouse baseball school. That's kind of what they've become. Last year, they went to the state finals. They ultimately fell short. They have a chance at redemption this year, and they are trying to make the most of it.
There's a lot of things that you could probably point to, but why is this team special?
Probably that we just been throwing strikes and we hit the crap out of the ball. I mean, we always put up a lot of runs.
I mean, all of our guys are just working together. Really, all team wins. Just working together really great.
We're like a family here. We were born and raised to be on this team and be at the stage, and that's about it.
We really just have a brotherhood. I mean, we all want to win for each other. It's just amazing that we all want it for each other. It's not just for ourselves, it's for everyone.
Last year we got knocked out in the semifinal. So I would love to go to the championship. But a lot. I feel like there's something to prove.
Regardless, it's our last game we play. We might as well, put it all on the field for this team,
Jenna in the control room said it's still a 716 area code. Obviously, I knew that. I meant zip code. I don't know the Niagara Falls zip code. Good luck to the Wolverines. Good luck. Grand Island and Medina also there. I know the Grand Island zip code.
Yeah.
14072.
Hey guys,
how about that?
Do you guys know Matt Beauvais lives in Grand Island?
Just saying.
Yes, no, this king of the North Towns.
A grand place to live. All right, softball.
Yeah, softball. So we'll start real quick. Lancaster, out of they're playing Class AAA, Section 6. They are the defending state champions, going back for a repeat as well. But I got a chance to catch up with another team looking to repeat, the Orchard Park Quakers. And I'll tell you what, this team is fun. They're energetic. It was about 85 degrees out there in the field today. It is a sweltering heat. There is no shade in that field whatsoever, but they're hungry, and they are looking to repeat. They got a big game coming up in the semifinals. They take on Section 3's Fayetteville Manlius, and I told head coach Brittany Schermerhorn before the interview, I'll say it again, as a West Genesee grad, there is no school I almost hate more than Fayetteville Manlius growing up. So Quakers go get it done, and they feel like they have all the right tools to do just that.
I feel like we feel very prepared. We know exactly what to expect, and Coach Britt lays everything out, so we've got our step-by-step plan. I feel like we kind of have a lot of momentum going into the game, which will help us.
I had read this article, and something stuck with me, and it was, you just have to treat it like another turkey dinner, not a big Thanksgiving dinner. You just got to go out like a normal day, a normal game, and just trust our process, trust what we do, and trust each other, and just play our game and not make it any bigger than it is.
By going to states last year, I think we kind of know what to expect, but obviously it's a new team we're going to be facing, so just to work hard all the way leading up to this weekend.
All right, if Orchard Park wins on Friday, they head to the state championship coming up on Saturday. All right, before we end here, I have one final thought I want to share with you all here. Soccer season is here. The World Cup is about to start. I want to treat this just like the Olympics. It comes every 4 years. Even if you're not a soccer fan, go pick a team and enjoy it, because it is quite literally one of the greatest sporting events you could ever watch. So find the urge, pick a team. Italy's not in, so the Paisans, Bobe and I can't root for it, but go root for America. All right, get it done. Go watch some soccer.
All right, that's a good one. For me, hey, I just want to give our condolences to Rick Swenson, a longtime WKBW photographer. He passed away yesterday morning, I believe. He was here for 38 years. His son, Scott Swenson, is the sports photographer over at WIVB. He is somebody we deal with all of the time. He got his love for photography and sports photography from his father, Rick Swenson. As somebody who does sports here at Channel 7, he laid a foundation and a legacy, so we want to give our condolences to the Swenson family, and obviously that is somebody we're thinking about this evening and moving forward. That is Dom Tibbetts. I'm Matt Bove. Thanks for watching, everyone. Talk to you guys next week.